Right, in today's class, so let us discuss about the reproduction in bacteria. Reproduction in bacteria. So normally, every organism in its lifetime shows growth and development and other vital activities like nutrition and all the other things. So along with these regular activities, they also undergo reproduction. Reproduction means the community will be increased in its number. And in case of this bacteria, we can notice the presence of asexual and sexual types of reproductions. Asexual and sexual type of reproductions. And these asexual and sexual type of reproductions, they are so normally, so according to some of these versions, the another one, that is vegetative reproduction, is also observed. So normally bacteria reproduce mainly by asexual methods and sexual methods. Asexual reproduction by means of spores. Asexual reproduction by means of spores. So let me once try to share the screen. So I am trying to share my screen. So wait for 1 minute.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Rasekar. Bhona, are you in line? Right? Regarding and according to some of the scientists, the first type of reproduction, that is called binary fission. Binary fission. It is known to be a vegetative mode of reproduction in bacteria. Vegetative mode of reproduction. Right? This is the bacterium which we used to observe. So these bacteria, they reproduce vegetatively and asexually and sexually. Vegetative reproduction means without the formation of, without the intervention of any asexual or sexual organs, say spores or gametes. Here, the type of asexual reproduction in bacteria, say actually, so here it is the vegetative reproduction. In some of the cases of bacteria, you may notice the presence of budding and binary fission. Fragmentation may not be occur here. In very rare cases, budding occurs, but main the foremost thing and the important activity, that is regarding the vegetative reproduction, is it is binary fission. It is binary fission. Apart from that, in some of the cases, you may notice the budding also. In this case, small bud formation takes place from a parental bacterial cell. You are observing here a small bud formation takes place from the parental bacterial cell, and these buds, when they completely developed, they get detached from the, or they get separated from the parental cell and behaves as a independent or individual bacterial cell. So fragmentation may not be also be observed. See here, cell division. The cell division means here it is nothing but the binary fission. The main, the basic reproductive process, the basic reproductive process in bacteria, it is nothing but binary fission. The first one, the first one. See here, this one is the uppermost one is said to be the binary fission. Binary fission. So binary fission, it is a division of single bacterial cell into two daughter bacterial cells and the regeneration of those cells into separate entities resembling the mother cell. Resembling the mother cell. See here, the single before the starting of this binary fission. Binary fission means division of a bacterial cell into two daughter cells. Into two daughter cells. That is called binary fission. That is known to be binary fission. And here you are observing a Fitt's ring will be formed in the center at the place of mesosomes, and where the DNA molecule replicates and both copies attached to the cell membrane. Both are attached to the cell membrane at the mesosomal level. At the mesosomal level, the cell membrane begins to grow between the two DNA daughter molecules. In the starting, especially for an example, it is said that in bacillus type of bacteria, the bacterial cell elongates. The bacterial cell elongates. The bacterial cell elongates, and after that, after the elongation of bacterial cell, one minute, somebody is okay. Some of the persons, the candidates who wants to enter the class, they have to sign in. So keep it in mind. Okay. So and then, so during this binary fission, it is the simplest and most common method of reproduction which is observed in the these bacterial cells. And actually, under favorable conditions, the bacterial cell divides into two daughter cells by a transverse wall formation. by a transverse wall. Here you are observing in the picture. So here the transverse wall will be formed. So after the elongation of the bacterial cell, a transverse wall will be formed in the center of the bacterial cell by means of mesosomes. By means of mesosome. This is called binary fission. During the cell division, the cell elongates and there the first the division of nuclear material. After the elongation of bacterial cell, the DNA division takes place. That is, the DNA undergoes replication and forms a copy of it. And forms a copy of it. And forms a copy of it. And after the formation of a new DNA molecule, it is followed by the distribution of DNA. The cytoplasmic membrane grows into the center of the cell. It grows into the center of the cell, resulting in a transverse septum. The plasma membrane, which is present in the form of the mesosome, it proceeds into the center and separates the cell, the cytoplasm, and the two daughter DNA molecules into two. And this is appears like a
మళ్ళీ
cross wall in the center.
మళ్ళీ మళ్ళీ
Then the cell wall on both sides grows inward to the
ఈడ
center of the cell, forming a cross wall. The daughter cells are separated by cleaving along the length of the septum. As the cross wall forms from the center to the from the edges of the bacterial cells to the center of the cell, automatically the separation of the bacterial cell also follows, and finally the mother bacterial cell divides into two daughter cells. The
సార్
transverse wall between the daughter cells is very often incomplete. It is incomplete, and then the daughter cell remains connected to the at the transverse septum. When the planes of successive divisions are parallel, the long chain may be formed. So the divisions, they occur in a parallel manner. That means parallel manner in అడ్డంగా జరిగితే horizontal గా జరిగితే a chains of bacterial cell daughter cell chains will be formed. Chains will be formed. A long chains may be formed, and if perpendicular to one another, sheets of packets of cells may be formed. Process of binary fission is very rapid. The time taking for the process of binary fission is very rapid, and cells may undergo fission for every 20 to 30 minutes. Every 20 to 30 minutes under favorable conditions. When 6 hours, approximately 250,000 bacterial cells will be formed. In an approximate estimation that in 6 hours, nearly 250,000 bacterial cells may be formed from a single bacterium. The time required for a cell to divide by binary fission is called doubling time or generation time. Doubling time or generation time. If bacteria go on dividing at that rate, theoretically 10 to the power of 21 progeny cells are formed in 24 hours. 10 to the power of 21 cells are formed in 24 hours. But in nature, the multiplication is stopped after a few cell division due to non-availability of nutrients and accumulation of toxic substances. Nature itself controls the development of these bacteria in more quantities for its safety by the lacking of due to the lacking of nutrients or due to the production of the toxic material. Hello. సైన్ ఇన్ కావాలరా దానికి. మీరు దాంట్లోకి పోయి సైన్ ఇన్ అని కొట్టండి. సైన్ ఇన్ అని కొడితే వచ్చేస్తారు. ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే. So right. So this is the process of binary fission. Binary fission is different from normal mitotic division. The binary fission is not just like the mitotic division, the equal division which occurs in the normal plant cells. Normal plant cells. So it is a separate process from normal mitotic division, as it does not involve spindle formation and the during cell division of nuclear material. Fission is characteristic of all types of bacterium, and that is why they have been placed in the class Schizomycetes. Due to the occurrence of this binary fission in all types of bacteria, they are placed under Schizomycotin or Schizomycetes. The schizo means split or cut. Schizo means split or cut. Mycetes means fungi. Okay, or fission of fungi. So then endospores. See, so in identical daughter, these two are the identical daughter cells. So this is the process of binary fission. So apart from this, we have endospores. In the endospores are the asexual spores which are formed. So endospores are the asexual spores which are formed during unfavorable situations. Unfavorable situations. Actually, these endospores are the resting spores. Endospores are the resting spores, and these resting spores, they are formed during the drastic situations present in the surroundings of bacteria. In the surroundings of bacteria. So whenever the bacterial cells, they feel very the unfavorable situations, automatically the vegetative bacterial cell, it secretes a thick layer around it. A thick layer around it. That means many multi layers around the cytoplasm, plasma membrane, cell wall. Around this cell wall, by enveloping this cell wall, many multi-layered structures are secreted. Multi-layered, many number of layers are secreted, and due to this, the cell envelopes become more and more thick, and these envelopes protects the inner cytoplasm or inner living material without undergoing any harm to them. The external temperature or the acidic nature or any other climatic conditions or the environmental conditions present in there, they may not harm to the bacterial cell inclusions. This is called endospore. The endospores are intracellular resting spores. They are the intracellular resting spores formed when growth ceases due to lack of nutrients. See, this is nothing but unfavorable situation. When the bacterial cell feels the nutrients are less, the nutrients are lacking, and the situations are uncomfortable, the growth is ceased, then automatically it undergoes or it becomes into a resting spore. With a few exceptions, all spores formed are rod-shaped gram-positive bacteria. Most are motile by virtue of peritrichous flagellae. Among cocci and spirilla, endospores are formed only in few species. So, with some exceptions, as an exceptional case, excluding some of the bacteria, so remaining all bacilli bacteria, they undergo the endospore formation. They undergo asexual reproduction by the formation of endospores, and especially they bear peritrichous type of flagellation. That means the surface of the bacteria is covered with flagellum, and at the same time, very in less manner in case of coccus type of and spirillum type of bacteria, very limited members they show the endospore formation, and these species are rod shaped bacillus, clostridium, cocci, sarcina, luteus, decilio and typically one endospore is formed in a one vegetative cell. One endospore is formed in a one vegetative cell. The cell producing endospore is termed as sporangium. See, as it is treated as asexual reproduction and as it is the resting object is known to be resting spore or endospore, the cell which is converted into endospore, it is known to be endosporangium. It is known to be endosporangium. The process of spore formation is called sporulation or sporogenesis. The process of formation of endospore is called sporulation or sporangio. It is also called as sporogenesis. Sporogenesis means the formation of the spore. The shape and size and position of endospore within the cell may vary in different bacterial species. That means they may vary from bacterium to bacterium. Okay. So normally regarding the structure of the endosperm, the endosperm consists of a central protoplast, the core mainly composed of DNA, tRNA, ribosomes, and enzymes and accessory factors. And it is enclosed by a thin membrane variously called core membrane or germ cell membrane or inner membrane. Core membrane or germ cell membrane or inner membrane. The multi-layered region around the core is known to be cortex. The multi-layered object or the multi-layered substance around the membrane is known to be cortex because it appears like that. There is a pseudocortex also, which is largely composed of calcium, dipicolinic acid, and peptidoglycan complex. Dipicolinic acid, calcium, and peptidoglycan complex. Outer to the cortex, there is an electron dense layer called spore coat. Outer to the cortex, a electron dense layer known to be spore coat is present. It is differentiated into inner spore coat, middle spore coat, and outer spore coat, or you can say just inner and outer spore coat. The spore coat is mainly composed of proteins and accounts for 30 to 60% of the dry weight of the spore weight. Endospores of certain bacteria, for example Bacillus cereus, have an additional other covering of the exosporium apart from the spore coat. In Bacillus serious, they have an extra appendage known to be exosporium, made up of polysaccharides, proteins and lipids. Proteins and lipids. And these endospores are very tough and they can withstand to any type of climatic conditions, and they are liable in any type of situations, and they can overcome the unfavorable situation, and they germinate during favorable conditions when they arise. They are enough, they last for years together. They stay as it is in the same form for years together, enduring many stresses. By facing or when you subject the endospore to many type of problems, they can withstand, they remain as it is for years together. Viable spores of Bacillus were present in the samples of 50 to 100 years old. 50 to 100 years old. The anthrax causing bacterium in Bacillus anthracis, it is tough spore remain viable for years on the wool of infected animal, and the disease gets passed on to weavers and other people through the cuts on their hands. Through the cuts on their hands. అంటే గొర్రె ఉన్నిలోను ఆ గొర్రెకు వీపు మీదంతా బొచ్చు ఉంటుంది కదా ఉన్ని అని, ఆ ఉన్నిలో కూడాను ఈ బ్యాసిలస్ యాంథ్రాసిస్ అనేటువంటిది సంవత్సరాల తరబడి అలాగే ఉండి ఆ ఉన్నిని కత్తిరించేటువంటి వాళ్లకు, ఆ ఉన్నిని కత్తిరించేటప్పుడు ఆ గాయాలు జరుగుతాయి కదా, ఆ గాయాల ద్వారా మనుషుల్లోనికి ప్రవేశించి వాళ్ళకి ఆ యాంథ్రాక్సిస్ వ్యాధిని కలుగజేస్తాయన్నమాట. సో జెర్మినేషన్, ఇక ఈ ఎండోస్పోర్స్ హౌ దే జెర్మినేట్. సో ఎండోస్పర్స్ germinate under favorable conditions. When the favorable climatic conditions or the surroundings and the situations occurs to these endospores, sufficient nutrients and moisture and a suitable temperature are essential for the germination of the endospore. Spores imbibe water, say, along with the exosporium, outer spore coat, inner spore coat, and cortex. All these combiningly, they absorb water and imbibe water. They absorb water and then they swell in their size. The spore coat ruptures due to their swelling. The spore coat ruptures and the vegetative cell grows outside, and each bacterium forms only one endospore, and which then gives rise to a single bacterial cell only. Each bacterial cell gives rise to, or it becomes into single endospore, and it gives rise to single bacterium new cell only. So it is in fact a method of perennation. It is nothing but a perennation. So పెరెన్నేషన్ మీన్స్ బహుకాలంగా పెరగడం, అలాగే ఉండి తర్వాత సంతతిలో మనం మామూలుగా అల్లము, పసుపు ఇలాంటివన్నీ కూడా నేలలో అలాగే వాటిని ఇది చేస్తూ ఉంటాం కదా. సో ఆ విధంగా ఇది కూడాను ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ పెరెన్నేషన్. సో దెన్ కమింగ్ టు సో 1 minute. Okay. So now coming to sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. So I admitted, but why they are not? నువ్వు రారా అడ్మిట్ చేసుకుంటాను, అడ్మిట్ కొట్టే లోపల మరి వెనక్కి వెళ్ళిపోతావు నువ్వు. అవునవును, రైట్ రైట్. Okay, so now the sexual reproduction in bacterium. See, regarding the sexual reproduction in bacterium, there is no true sexual reproduction is present in the bacterium. There is no true sexual reproduction. What is meant by sexual reproduction? The formation of gametes and their fusion is said to be syngamy or sexual reproduction or fertilization. Here in case of 1 minute, I am admitting. Right? Normally, sexual reproduction means it is nothing but the fusion of male and female gametes. But in case of bacteria, you may not observe the formation of male and female gametes. So the inner meaning of the sexual reproduction is it is nothing but the fusion of the transfer of genetic material from one cell to another cell, or it is the combination of genetic material of two differently strained individuals. But here, instead of the formation of gametes, two differently said to be two differently strains, they may the genetic material may be passed on from one bacterial cell to another bacterial cell. One bacterial cell to another bacterial cell. And for a long time, it is believed that there is no sexual reproduction in bacteria. However, it is now known that the bacteria exhibits a primitive type of transfer of genetic materials. Bacteria do not produce sex organs or sex cells and gametes. But here, so depending upon the transfer of genetic material and basing upon the type of bacterial cells they involve in this transfer, this is the sexual reproduction is divided it is studied under three headings, that is transformation and conjugation and transduction. Transformation, conjugation and transduction. So actually the first one is the transformation. Here it is not reproduction, but that is the reformation, the transformation of the one bacterial cell into other. For example, in bacterial cells itself, some bacteria are pathogenic. They cause some of the diseases. And in the same category, which are belongs to the same category, they are non-poisonous, non-virulent, and they are non-pathogenic. Non-pathogenic. And these non-pathogenic bacteria, when they come in contact with the pathogenic bacteria, these pathogenic bacteria will convert them into pathogenic bacteria. This is called a transformation. And this was explained by Frederick Griffith. It was explained by Frederick Griffith in 1928. In 1928, by an experiment which was conducted on mice. On mice. Actually, in Griffith's experiments, in the bacterium Streptococcus pneumoniae. సో మనకు మామూలుగా న్యూమోనియాను తెప్పించేటువంటి బ్యాక్టీరియాము, and this bacterium causes deadly disease known to be pneumonia. And he used this Streptococcus pneumoniae and injected to the mice. When these mice are injected by this pneumonia Streptococcus bacteria, automatically they die. The cells are dead. That is, he used nearly 3 strains. The living Streptococcus pneumoniae bacteria and heat treated pneumonia bacteria, and both are mixed, the dead one and the normal one. One strain with gelatinous capsule and another without capsule. See, this information tells us about the bacteria with gelatinous mass is having disease causing capacity. And the normal one is a non-pathogenic, which is harmless one. When he used the virulent one on the mice, all the mice were dead. And at the same time, he used a non-pathogenic one, and which he subjected the mice to the non-pathogenic one. All were alive. They all are alive. And after that, the virulent bacteria, that is pathogenic bacterium, were heat killed. He heated them up, and that was injected to the mice. When the bacteria was heat killed, automatically they lose their capacity of pathogenicity. That is, the disease causing capacity was dropped down. It is absent. So automatically mice alive. So now what he made? He mixed the heat treated bacteria, that is dead bacteria, and mixed with normal non-pathogenic bacteria and injected to the mice. At that time, the mice were dead. Why they died? Why the death occurred in the mice? And he examined. So in his observations, he observed that all the normal non-pathogenic bacteria are converted into pathogenic bacteria. So they are non-pathogenic. They are normal bacteria. How do they converted into pathogenic bacteria? Is it possible? No. But how happens it? That is when he mixed the heat treated dead pathogenic bacteria mixed with non-pathogenic living bacteria and injected into the mice, the genetic material of the dead pathogenic bacteria enters into the non-pathogenic bacteria and converting them into virulent or pathogenic bacteria. Converting them into virulent bacteria. This conversion is nothing but the genetic formation. It is called to be formation. So that means one is formed into two. The non-pathogenic is converted into pathogenic one. Converted into pathogenic one. That is called gene transformation. Gene transformation. The normal wise gene converted into pathogenic gene. Pathogenic gene. That means though the bacteria were heat killed, their genetic material is alive. Their genetic material is alive. And this living genetic material enters into the non-pathogenic bacteria and converting or transforming the normal genetic material into pathogenic genetic material. It is called genetic transformation. Genetic transformation. And this the transformation which is observed by Frederick Griffith in 1928. Apart from the second one is the conjugation. What is conjugation? Conjugation means here in case of bacteria you may observe two types of strains. In some of the bacteria contains only cytoplasm and its regular nucleoid, that is called genetic material. It's a normal genetic material. They are known to be recipients or minus strained bacterium. They are known to be minus strained bacterium. In some other cases, in the same category, and some other bacteria are there in which apart from the regular DNA, apart from the regular genetic material, an extra molecule of circular DNA is present. Circular DNA is present. And this circular DNA is known to be plasmid. It is known to be plasmid. And this plasmid, the bacterial cells which contain this plasmid are known to be HFR strains, high frequency recombinants. High frequency recombinants. These HFR strains are known to be donor cells. The bacterial cells which lack plasmid, they are known to be recipients or negative bacteria or minus strained bacterial cells. And whereas the bacterial cells with plasmid, they are known to be positive bacteria or plus strained bacteria or